All right, welcome back to QuickBooks Online. We are going to be taking a look at Chapter 3, the sales process, okay? Right? So the sales process, right, we're going to be dealing with how to create our customers list, okay? How to add our customers and so on and so forth. How do we record our sales, okay? So we record our sales in two different ways, right? We either do a sales receipt or an invoice, okay? And then we also are going to talk about making deposits and things like that and how we actually get the flow of um, the sales from point A to point B here, where we're introducing to sales, then we collect the money, and then we deposit the money, okay? So once again, let's go ahead and do the sales settings section here, which is, again, we're going to do our gear settings to make sure that our sales is exactly where it needs to be in terms of preparing for and turning in our invoices and things like that, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at our settings first. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go to the gear icon, right? And go to account and settings. Then we're going to be looking at the sales tab here, right? So very first one, right? We already introduced you to this one in chapter 2, where we did the custom sales form. So if you want to redo or do or make any more modifications, you could go ahead and customize your sales form right here, okay? But the main portion that we want to talk about is going to turn on a few things and turn off a few things. So for example, we want to know what's going to be on the sales form content. So things that are going to appear on the sales form, right? So we definitely want to go ahead and put preference terms. We're going to make it net 30. We're going to have some delivery methods, right? We're not going to have any. We're going to turn on some shipping. We're going to also turn on custom transaction number. Okay. So let's see. So let's go into the section here. What's going to be on our sales form? So again, we were talking about, right, setting up our terms to be net 30. Okay. No delivery method. Okay. Shipping is on already. Okay. Custom fields, which we already have on, right? Let's see what you want to have here. Okay, so here again, custom transaction number is on already, right? We have service date that is on. Okay, we want to have discounts. We want to turn off deposits, and we want to have tips off as well. So let's see. Okay, so we have discounts are on, deposits are off, tips are off. Okay, we definitely want to have tags. Okay. Okay. Then the next section we want to make sure is that our products and services. We want to make sure we want to show all of our products and services. SKU numbers, you can turn them off. And then price rules, you want to turn them off. What are price rules? Price rules basically allows you to separate your customers and give them specific price points. So for example, right, let's say you want to charge your commercial, you have a set of customers, right? You categorize them based on commercial versus residential. These price rules are going to basically separate them and charge different groups of individuals at different price points. Okay, so there you go. We got show on the items on here. SKU numbers are off. Okay. Turning on prices is off already. We want to also make sure that we track our quantity and prices. Of course, that's always going to be on. And of course, you want to track your inventory, so you definitely want to have that on, okay? So that's going to be definitely more relevant when we dive into the inventory section there, okay, in chapter 10. So making sure those are on, okay? Other things too is late fees. We want to, right now, temporarily, we'll just have them turned off for now. And then let's see, for progress invoicing, we want them off. And then statements, we want them to have them on, okay? We'll talk about statements in chapter 5.2, okay? But let's see. Let's save this. And then late fees, right now, we have them currently off. Progress invoicing, right? We'll talk about that when we dive into chapter 9. We'll definitely turn that back on. But for now, we're going to have that currently off. And then other ones that we looked at was statements, which is currently on. Yes. So statements, yes. So we'll talk about how to issue your customers some statements. Okay. So again, in chapter 5.2. Okay. So there you go. I made sure that my settings are all fixed and all saved. And I can go ahead and proceed with the sales process. Okay. So just like we talked about our vendors, our customers have the same idea in terms of categorizing them based on cash versus our accrual type, or sorry, credit customers, right? So when we talk about cash versus credit customers, same idea. We have customers who pay at time of sale, right? So those are going to be, people who pay with their credit cards, people who pay with cash, a check, some kind of form of exchange for the product and service, right? We call those our cash customers. And then our credit customers are going to be the ones who owe us money on an account. So they buy the product and services from us, but they don't pay us right away. They choose to pay us later, okay? So again, that's the difference between here for the cash and the credit type of customers. Now, when we have these type of customers, we also use two different sales forms, okay? And that's where we're going to look at the difference between using a sales receipt versus a invoice, right? Invoice is where we bill our customers, right? Well, a sales receipt, right, hence the word receipt, you pay at time of purchase, or at time of sale, So then you're going to give them a receipt to let them know that they paid for the products and services. Okay, so that's where you have to go ahead and understand which forms to use. So again, our cash customers are going to be using sales receipts, while our credit customers are going to be using invoices. Okay, so here's a little brief introduction of what a sales receipt does. So as soon as we activate that, right, a sales receipt is going to be us collecting money. And when we collect that money, we're going to eventually deposit that money into our bank account. Okay, where invoices, since invoices is directly correlated to our accounts receivable, right? Because we are saying that our customer owes us money, that means we're creating an accounts receivable account. Okay, now what is an accounts receivable? It's another way of saying that a customer owes you money. They promise to owe you money. They give you an IOU. And there's a definite date of when they are going to pay you, right? So with that being said, once you do that, then the next of transaction from that is to receive payments, and then you're eventually going to deposit that money into your checking account. So again, another one is very similar to using the accounts payable, right? You need to have the pay bills function to reduce your accounts payable, right? So same thing with accounts receivable. You must use receive payments in order to reduce your accounts receivable, okay? Now in this case, right, again, that's the idea here, is where if you're using a credit type of payment, or they are having something on an account, that is what you're going to be doing, is you're going to need those credit customers to receive payments in order to reduce their accounts receivable. Okay, so all right, and then of course, last but not least, we'll talk about making our deposits. So very similar to, right, when you receive a check in the mail, right, what do you do with that? You don't go immediately to your the money doesn't appear into your bank account instantly, right? It's not like it's magic, right? You physically either need to do one of the two options, right? If you're choosing to do online banking or mobile banking, then take a picture of the check and then wait for it to clear. Or oftentimes when you are running a type of store that accepts cash at the same time, right? It is very wise for you to deposit the money that you receive that day into your bank account. Now, especially for cash, right? Cash doesn't magically appear in your checking account. You do need to physically take it to the bank and deposit it. So when we actually record our sales and that we received or retrieve, whether it's a check or cash, what do we do with it? It becomes collected under a undeposited funds account. And what you do is then you gotta read at any given point in time, whether you do your bank runs, right, in during your break or during the end of the day or first thing in the morning, you definitely going to make your deposits at the end at the end of the transaction, right, and record those deposits, so then the money does go appear in your checking account. So that's the rule of thumb there, right? So that's the transaction, that's the flow of transaction, right? Where when you have a sale, you collect the money, and once you collect the money, then you go deposit the money into your checking account. Okay? So let's go ahead and talk about our customers once again. So we're going to set up our customers because we need people in order for us to sell our products and services. So let's set up our customers list by doing the same thing that we've been doing last time, right? We took a look at an example of importing a vendors list. So now we're going to be importing our customers list. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the same thing that we did last time. So again, you can go ahead and go to your sales window here. And then, of course, once you go through here, you have a few options here. And you can go to your customers list. So right now, since it's the first time that we're adding a customer, it will give you the option to either add a customer or import a list. Now remember, we can also do the same thing by going to your gear icon and clicking import data, right? And from here gives you 6 options of lists that you can import into your QuickBooks Online. So in this case, since I'm already here, I'm going to be importing my customers. So once again, we already have a preset file on our desktop as is already. Okay, and that's going to be, we're going to click browse, right? Again, if you need a sample file of what the file should look like or how to organize it, then you can go ahead and click this button here to download a sample file so you know exactly what kind of headers you need to have on your file to go ahead and import the data. Now in this case, again, you can import CSV files or you can import Excel files. Okay, so in this case here, I am going to look for my Imagine customers right here. Okay, that's my list right here, Imagine customers list. And then once I have that file there, I'm going to go ahead and click Next. So once again, you're going to match up your headers here. So QuickBooks should do it for you automatically. Anything that's flagged red will indicate whether you need to have select an item for it or not. Okay, so in this case, nothing I need to select here, so I am good to go. So I can go ahead and click Next. So here it tells you that you have 7 customers that you are importing into your QuickBooks. So making sure everything looks good. You got addresses, you got phone numbers, you got full names, okay? And once everything looks good, I'm going to go ahead and click finish. So here, success, we've successfully transferred 7 customers out of 7 into our customers list. So once again, I'm going to go to that sales once again, and we're going to go click on customers. And then now this is our customers customer center, right? It looks identical to your vendors center, but the only difference is now this is money that you're collecting from your customers. Who owes you money? How many invoices are past due? How many of those invoices have you received payments for? And that's what this top bar does, is it allows you to separate your transactions based on who owes you and so on and so forth, how much money in these individual people owe you. Okay, so here you go. You have your 7 customers here. Okay, so again, very similar once again in terms of if I were to go click on my actions, I won't be able to edit any of their any of their profiles. I would have to actually click on their name to be able to edit their profiles, just like exactly like how vendors work too. So again, now guess what? You're noticing a trend, okay? Anything that you have done for your vendors, you would be able to do the same exact thing for your customers, except obviously, right? Instead of making a bill for your customers, right? You would invoice them, right? The transactions is what's different, but the formatting of how the structure of each center looks is the same. How do I add a new customer? Right here, top right, just like the vendor center. How do I edit the customer's profile? I have to click on their profile, click on customer detail, and then be able to edit there right there. Or I can view their transactions list, right? So again, very, very similar to your very similar to the other list, right, that you have there. So again, and the same formatting here, right? You got your money bar at the top here that allows you to tell you how much money is being owed to you, and so on and so forth, right? So that is the same idea. So where the concept and layout and format makes it that much more easier, because if things are much more universally used, right? If you can apply one action to another one, then that's why QuickBooks makes it that much more easier to facilitate and makes it user friendly. Okay, so there you go. All right, so there you go. I imported my customer list. So let's see what we're gonna do first. Okay. So first, we're gonna go ahead and add our first customer. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and add in Dr. Tim S. Fay. Okay, so this one is directly from your book. Okay, and it will walk you through entering in Tim S. Fay into your customer's profile. Okay, so once again, I'm gonna add a customer. Now again, the customers list is also going to be broken into 5 different categories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Oh, 6, excuse me. 6 categories. So again, the first one is always going to be your contact information and the display name. Now remember, display name is so important. Now notice this. Why is there also a company name? Okay. So, yes, your vendors can also be your customers, right? So we also have this section called bartering, okay, where you can again buy a service and trade it in for a service. So basically you're trading services for a service, and we call that bartering. So in this case, right, this person can provide you service, but at the same time, you can also sell a service to that same exact person. So the only difference here is rule of thumb is if you choose to have a vendor who is also a customer, you do have to create two separate profiles for them. You cannot use a vendor and a customer using one profile, right? Because again, your customers list is pending for accounts payable, right? While your customers list is pending for accounts receivable. But however, because this is a, once again, the more information that you add in here, it's creating an algorithm, right? Now, if you have a code that's identical to another code, it's not going to be able to differentiate between the two. Even though, yes, we add all this content in here, such as different addresses or different phone numbers and different things like that, right? Unfortunately, QuickBooks, right, how they use their algorithm is it's based on the display name. They don't care all the extra information that you put in there, right? They're relying on the algorithm based on the display name. Now, if you have two display names, it's not going to be able to differentiate the two. So in order for you to make a vendor and a customer profile be different from each other, you do need to make some kind of slight difference, okay? Same thing if you have an employee with the same exact name, okay? So think about Walmart, right? Walmart has billions and billions of employees. Well, the chances of them having two employees with the same exact name is very high, right? So there could be a John S. Smith, right? There could be two John S. Smiths. But the way that you be able to differentiate the two is maybe spell out their middle name. Now, what if you have father and son working together at the same company? Well, there you go. You could make one senior and you can make one junior. You can make one the first, you can make one the second or the third, right? So that's what you're going to do to differentiate the differences between your people that who are in your company, right? And that's exactly what we have to do. We have to create our display name to be different, okay? You can't have the same display name as anybody that's in your list of people, whether it's a vendor, employee, or a customer, okay? So now let's go ahead and enter in Dr. Tim S. Fang, okay? So for the very first thing we have here is their title, right? Their title, they are a doctor, okay? So they would like to be addressed as doctor. The first name is Tim. All right. Middle name, middle initial is S. Okay. And last name is Feng. F-E-N-G. Okay. Tim S. Feng. Okay. Next is going to be, do they have a company name? In this case, they don't have a company name, but display name, we're going to leave it as Dr. Tim S. Fang. Okay. So let's see where Tim S. Fang, let's see, his phone number or email, display name is Dr. Tim S. Fang. Email is at drdf@drdf.biz. Okay. Okay, so phone number, email is drf@df.biz. Okay. Phone number is going to be 408 555 8298. 408 555 8298. Okay. Now, again, let's see what's next. And then, name on the check to be printable should be automatically filled in for you. Okay. So now we need to go and enter in where Tim S. Fang lives. Okay. So again, where are we going to be putting his address? Now, there are two types of addresses that are we going to be looking here, right? One is a billing address and the second one is a shipping address. Okay? A billing address is going to be, again, where they need to bill the individual customer, right? And then the shipping address can be either the same or can be different, right? Because again, a shipping address, for instance, right? Maybe Tim wants to send a photo of himself to his mother, okay? If he wants to do that, then, and let's say he doesn't live at home with his mother, then he can go ahead and put in a shipping address to send it to his mother. Okay, so in this case, right, and there's often times where some people, when they buy into these services, they choose a different shipping address because maybe they want to gift something to somebody. So they want to send the package over to some other address. So that is a possibility. And yes, you can have multiple shipping addresses. Okay? But again, now for this instance, we're just going to go ahead and click the shipping address is the same as the billing address. But as for this, you don't have to have the same shipping address as your billing address. Okay, they could be two separate things. So in this case, Mr. Tim S. Fang lives in 300 North 1st Street in San Jose, California, 95136. Okay. So that's exactly what I'm going to put here. All right. Let's see, shipping address is 300 North 1st Street. Okay. City, San Jose, California. Zip is 95136. Right, in the United States. Okay. And of course, if you want to get a legitimate address so to make sure that this address is correct, you can go ahead and map it. Okay. So again, we selected that this shipping address is the same as the billing address, but if for any reason that you want to choose a different shipping address, you just go ahead and uncheck that and you add in the shipping address in here. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and acknowledge that it is the same as the billing address. Okay. So anything that you want to add notes to this particular person's profile. Now, other things that you can do too is if you assign specific individuals with account numbers, that could be something that you could put in there. You could put in their credit limit. So for instance, right here, account number 3546. And then of course, you also have the credit limit of $8,000, okay? So unfortunately, this QuickBooks Online doesn't have that feature where you can stop transactions if they exceed their account balance or credit limit balance, we should say. In this case, so that's something you're just going to have to keep in mind and be aware of. If you have a cap limit for all your customers to be maxed out at a specific number, then that would be perfect, right? So in this case, they have an account number with us, right? 3546, and then credit limit is $8,000. Okay. All right. Okay, let's see. You can attach anything in here. So again, attachments you could put in, of course. Let's say, for example, maybe you require proof of identification, or especially that you only can provide services for those of who are over the age of 18, right? Or maybe so on and so forth, or the type of customers that you seek out must be the age of over 18, things like that, or just to have proof that this what the person looks like. So you could also put a photo ID, license, driver license, state identification card, something that's going to have proof that this customer is this person, right? A business card is gonna be a good attachment you could put onto this person's profile, right? So that's what you can do for attachments. Right? So the next one's going to be payment methods, right? What is their primary payment method? Okay? So for instance, this one, they're going to be using a credit card. You want to put terms as net 30, and then of course, you want to put a sales for default settings, and you want to make sure it is in English language. Okay? So right here, right? We're going to have a primary payment method is going to be with a credit card, terms, net 30, okay? And of course, we're going to go ahead and put use company default settings for the sales form. So again, if you have a specific form that you use for specific customers, you can go ahead and identify what they are. But in this case, we'll just have a default settings. And you could even have different languages on your sales form. So then if you appeal to a specific demographics, so let's say you appeal to Hispanics, or you appeal to or like Asian descent, right? You can have your sales forms converted into the languages that is universal, or not universal, but that applies to that customer. So, it feels a little more personal, right? So in this case, you can designate a specific language for that. In this case, we just put it as default settings as English. Okay. And then last section is going to be any other additional information, such as what kind of customer type they belong to. So again, what is a customer type? So again, if you have, so for example, you have commercial customers versus residential customers, then that's where you can place these individuals into those different types. Now again, when we talked about price levels and price rates and things like that, that's what I mean, because you can't chart, I mean, in this kind of aspects, right? If you're serving a commercial type of customer, they should be able to afford, the most expensive type of equipment, renting out venues and locations and things like that. But you wouldn't necessarily charge the same amount to a residential, right? A residential might not be able to afford that kind of high-end camera, or be able to rent out those locations like that, right? So that's why you could categorize your individuals based on, in this case, individual customers based on those types of sales, right? In this case, do we have a customer type here? I believe we do not. Okay. But, however, let's see, we do want to also, is this person taxable? So I guess you do not want to put in that they are not tax exempt, and if they are, you have to give a reason why. Again, then opening balances, you leave them blank, and of course, the available balance is going to be January 1st. Okay, so once again, we don't have a customer type. This person is definitely taxable, so they're not tax exempt. But let's say if I click this right there, if I click that they are tax exempt, what are the reasons that this customer can be tax exempt, right? Again, here are the reasons that they can be tax exempt, right? They could be a state governor worker. They could be someone who's a reseller. So once again, all of those different individuals, maybe they work for a nonprofit organization. Again, this is very typical, right? So for anybody who's a government worker, right, they usually get some type of discount. And so on and so forth. So again, they might be one of those individuals where you are they might be tax exempt. But in this case, this person is fully taxable, so there's no need to select that they are tax exempt. Okay. Sales tax rate. So in this case, since they live in San Jose, they're going to be taxed at San Jose tax. Okay. And then, of course, opening balance, nothing there. Okay. And, of course, the opening balance is as of, and we want to make this January 1st. All right, we're going to put this customer in as of January 1st. Okay. And then I'm going to click save. Okay. So there we go. We created the profile for Tim S. Fang. So as you can see, Dr. Tim S. Fang, we're looking at his profile. If there's anything you need to edit, then edit. If there's any transactions you want to create with Tim, go ahead and do so. But there you go. And that is the example of creating a customer profile. Okay. Now, again, exactly just like your vendors, do you have to have all that information in regards to those customers? Okay. Now, these ones, the reason why we have their information just like this is because maybe they are a customer that we will be going into contact with, right? Especially because we're a photo session type of service, right? We need to have their contact information so that we can, be able to, schedule with them, right? Their photo shoot. So in this case, these types of customers are going to be those kind of customers that you are looking into, creating those kind of accounts for, right? But another thing that you want to do is, what if they're an in-store customer? A random person decides to walk into your store and they just purchase something because they're just swinging by, and they're not paying on a credit, they're not paying on an account, they're paying with cash regularly, right? Do you need to record their information? Absolutely not. Because again, if they're just a random customer, there's really no need to have to record their information, right? You're not going to contact that person unless you say, hey, would you like to sign up for our weekly ads? Or, where are you interested in possibly looking into what Imagine Photography does? And if that person says yes, then of course they're going to punch in their information, and then you'll be able to see all their information. So yes. So that kind of case, then yes. But if they're just a random customer that's just walking in, they're just buying one thing and then they just leave, you don't need to necessarily record any information except maybe their name if they choose to reveal so. But if not, you can create an account called in-store customer, right? And then just record that you made a sale. Okay. That doesn't mean you need to put any information in regards to that customer in your customer list. Okay. So that's that there. All right. So let's see what is next. Okay. So let's go ahead and edit a few of our customers here. Okay. So first one, we got Jamie Madeira, and then we have Allison Satterley, right? We're going to change their display names to these right here, right? We're going to change it to Madeira Builders, and then we're going to have Satterley Wedding Planners, okay? And again, action, right? We're going to add Madeira Builders on the address name, okay? All right, so we're going to change these individual customers to these different display names here. Okay. So once again, we're going to go ahead and locate Jamie Madeira. So here we click on Jamie Madeira. We click on customer details, and we're going to click on this edit button here, and we're going to change the display name to say Madeira Builders. Okay. Madeira Builders right here. Okay, Madeira Builders. Okay. then, of course, we're going to add Madeira Builders as part of the address name. So here, address, right? And in this case, make it billable too. So name to be print on check is going to be Madeira Builders, right? There you go. Perfect. Okay. And save. And we're also going to do that to Satterly because Satterly is a wedding planner. They want to put their company name first, so it's much more easier to locate. So again, you're going to go to the customers section here. We're going to look up for Allison Satterly. Okay, there you go. Oh, it's an alphabetical order based on first name. So in this case, Allison Satterly, we'll click on her profile and we're going to go ahead and edit her information to have her display name say Satterly Wedding Planners. Okay, so you can copy the company name and then just paste it right into the display name. Okay, perfect. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and click save. Okay. So then if I go back to my customers list here, right? First one here is, as you can see, Allison has dropped down to Satterly Wedding Planners. All right. And then, of course, Madeira is now Madeira Builders. So that's what I want to see on my customers list. By making that change with the display name, now I see that they are there, and that's how I'm going to locate them a lot quicker. Okay, so again, editing is just the same exact as editing your vendors. You need to go to the actual profile themselves and use the edit window there. Okay, so now we're going to be adding in some sub customers. Okay, so for example here, right, we have a couple of individuals that we're going to put into here. So here's the first one, right? We did take a look at it in chapter 4. Here is the Barnett residence and the DeVoe residence. So again, these are going to be sub-customers that are under Madeira Builders. Okay? So we're going to have two sets of sub-customers. We're going to do it for Madeira Builders, and we're going to do two of them for Satterly Wedding as well. Okay? So let's go ahead and do the first one. Let's go ahead and do the Barnett residence and then the DeVoe residence. And I'll show you how to create a sub-customer. Now, what does it mean by creating a sub-customer? Creating a sub-customer basically means that this company here, right, Madeira Builders, they're the main people, right? Same thing with Satterly Wedding Planners, right? They are the ones who are groups of their companies who basically they get customers to go ahead and use your service, right? So under Satterly Wedding Planners, right, we have the groups of individuals who are getting married, right? So whether you contact the couple who's getting married, right? You can either do that or you can actually contact the main customer, which is going to be the Satterly Wedding Planners, right? Because they're the one that you're contacting with to plan and schedule your photo shoots, right? So you definitely want to have, so that's what you're going to do is you're going to be creating a sub-profile underneath these individual customers, because these ones are going to be basically the main customer that you're going to be billing for, okay? So instead of billing the sub-customer directly, right, you're going to assume that you're going to be billing the actual company itself instead of the customer, okay? So in this case, right, so under Madeira Builders, right, we got the DeVoe residence and we have the Barnett residence, right? Those are individuals who are underneath Madeira Builders, Okay, Madeira Builders is the company who helped us get connected to these customers. Okay? So let's go ahead and create those sub-customers. Now, how do I do that? In this case, you're just going to enter in a new customer, just like how you've been doing, okay? But the only difference is as soon as you finish the very first section, which is the contact information, there is a little tab right here that says this is a sub-customer. And you're going to select that, and you're going to select who this person is going to be under. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first one, which is the Barnett residents. So they are Barnett residents. Okay. So company name. Okay, Barnett residents. Okay, so there you go, filled into the display name for you already. Phone number 925 890 1234. 925 890 1234. Okay. They are a sub customer, and we're going to link it to Madeira. And then, of course, you're going to be billing Madeira for them. Okay. So in this case right here, we're going to leave the rest of the information. So yes, name on the check, right? We're not going to name it to Barnett residents, right? Because we're going to select that this is a sub customer. So in this case, the first one says the parent company. Parent company is going to be Madeira Builders, right? And then it says right here, do you want to bill the parent? And yes, you guys are. Okay, you're going to be billing the parent instead of the customer itself. Okay. And then now, of course, you're also going to you're gonna have an address for them, right? And the address for the Barnett is going to be right here. It's going to be the 1304 Shoreview Court. Okay, so you have billing address in there, but shipping address is it's not going to be the same, right? Your shipping address is going to be different, right? It's going to be the 1304 Shoreview Court. Yeah, Shoreview Court, San Jose, California, 95122. Okay. Shoreview Court. Okay. And it's going to be San Jose. San Jose, California, 95122. Okay, United States. And once all that information is in there, I'm going to go ahead and click save. Okay. Right? So then now if I go back to my customers list, notice this. Under Madeira Builders, you now have the Barnett residents, right? And it's indented so you know that the parent company is going to be, or the parent customer here is going to be Madeira Builders, and the people who are underneath it is going to be your Barnett residents, okay? I'm also going to fill out the one for DeVoe, okay, for the DeVoe residents. Okay, because you will be needing them. Okay, so DeVoe residents. Phone number is also going to be 925-901-2345. 925-901-2345. Okay. Let me see. Same thing here. They are a sub customer. Parent is going to be Madeira. Okay. And you're going to bill them. Yes. So here's your billing address. But your shipping address is going to be different, right? The DeVoe residence is going to be 100 Mary Way, Los Gatos. Okay. 95032. Okay. 100 Mary Way, Los Gatos. Okay. And that should be good enough for that one. Okay. And then I'm going to do one more here since this is going to be rinse and repeat. Okay. So let's see what the next one here is we're going to add in Greg and Anderson. Okay. For the wedding planners. All right. So again, you're going to have Greg and Andrew David as a sub-customer for the Satterley wedding planners. Okay. So once again, you're going to make sure you go to the customers list here and add a new customer. And they're going to be Greg and Drew David. Okay. Phone number is 925 413 123 4567. Okay, 925-123-4567. Okay, and again, they are going to be under Satterley Wedding Planner. So here you go, Satterley. Nope, that's shy. Satterley Wedding Planners. And you're going to bill Satterley for that. And then it's going to, again, their shipping address is going to be different, right? Let's see what their shipping address is. It is 4499 Deerberry Court in Concord, California. Deerberry Court. They live in Concord, California. Okay, Concord, and their zip postal address is 94521. 94521. Okay, United States. Okay, and of course, I'm going to save this. So once again, right, rinse and repeat and do the last one for your customers, your sub customers, okay? All right. So now that I added my sub customers, let's see what the next section is, which is going to be actually recording your sales, okay? So knowing the difference between your sales receipt versus your invoice, okay? Again, inactivating your customers is the same exact way as you were to inactivate an account. Merging your customers, again, if you have two customers who have the same exact name, you would follow the same process there, right? So let's go ahead and talk about recording our sales and how to use our sales. So once again, you got the plus new icon, right, to record your sales, okay? You have the customer center, you have the sales center, okay? And so on and so forth, okay? So let's go ahead and record our very first sales receipt. So once again, what is a sales receipt? A sales receipt is when a customer pays at time of sale, okay? So when a customer buys a product or services from you and they pay with cash, with a check, with a credit card, that is a form of payment and they're paying you at time of sale. So therefore, how do you record that? So like I mentioned, we use a sales receipt to record those type of transactions because we are receiving money right there, right then and there, right? So again, you could do that by recording it in the sales window here. Right now, there's nothing there in the sales section. Okay, especially here for all sales, we haven't recorded our first sale yet. So my first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my plus new icon, and then we have options here, and I'm going to record my first sales receipt. Okay, because we're going to go ahead and we're going to sell a product / service to a customer and collect the form of payment right then and there. Okay. So first I'm going to do here is I am going to be, right, my customer is going to be Neo Garcia. All right, we're going to have it on the 18th of January, right? If you have your sales rep on as a custom field, right, it should appear on your form here for Mike Mizuki. Okay, and of course, payment method is going to be cash, and of course, the deposit is going to be payments to deposit. So once again, that's your undeposited funds account, and it's going to be for the Walnut Creek location sales receipt number 1001. Okay. So let's go ahead and fill that in there for now. So again, because we put in that customer's list in there, we should be able to put in Neo Garcia. And there she is, Neo Garcia. Okay. Do they prefer to be emailed? In this case, maybe not. So you don't need to fill that in there. Okay. As a, you know how some customers, they want to have a copy of their receipt in their email. If they do have an email there, then you can go ahead and, or if they want to have their sales receipt sent to their email, you can go ahead and enter the email there. So notice this, all the information that is in regards to Neo has put in their address right there, right? We sold to her on the 18th of January. Okay. And then, of course, let's see what kind of payment method did they do. Did they have the ship via? No ship via date at all. In this case, sales rep, right? We said was Mike Mizuki, so MM, right, for Mike Mizuki. Okay. And sales number 1001, right? Location is Walnut Creek. Okay, so she went to the Walnut Creek location and she purchased something from us. Okay, and what kind of form of payment did she purchase, or did she pay us with? She paid us using cash. So in this case, payment method, cash. Okay, and where is this payment going to go under? It's going to be deposited to the undeposited funds, which is also known as your payments to deposit, right? We created an account for that. That's our undeposited funds account, right? So this is the money that we're going to be collecting and holding on to until we actually deposit it into our bank. Okay? So let's see what other things are on here. It's definitely going to be a retail tag, right? And let's see what products and services that we sold to Miss Nao Garcia. So we sold a 5x7 metal picture frame. We sold one of those, and we sold two wooden picture frames. And we also are going to charge her sales tax. So once again, for the Santa Clara, because it's Walnut Creek location. Okay, so therefore we're going to charge her at Santa Clara store tax. So there should be $4.10. So let's take a look here. Okay, so tags once again is retail because this was an in-store sale. Okay, and let's see, what are the products and services that she purchased? Well, let's see. Service date. No service dates here, but if you do have one, it's most likely going to be the same day as you sold the item to them. But in this case, there is no scheduled service date to complete. So that's what that section is there for. Right? We sold to her a metal picture frame. So I'm going to type in metal or frame. So again, frame 5x7 metal. We sold one of those to her. Now notice this. Look, as I put in selected my frame 5x7 metal, it tells me that we're going to charge her $10 for each one. And again, we need to also click that it is taxable. Okay? So again, next one is the frame, the wooden frame, the 6x8 wooden frame. Okay? We sold two of them, right? And right now it's currently priced at $15 each. And one, of course, it's going to be taxable. Okay? Again, class is going to be, because this was an in-store sale, so we're going to go ahead and associate it to the store. Okay? Now, as we scroll down below, we can see the subtotal here is $40, right? Now, it says right here, do we have any discounts? And yes or no. Now, in this case, we don't have any discounts for today, so there's no particular sale or particular discount for this one. But in this case, let's see. We have to also do our taxes. Now, in this case, because we are selling the product in store, right? We have to charge sales tax. Now, in this case, it says it's based on location. Now, based on location, right? Right now, my store is in Danville, California, right? That is not correct. I am going to go ahead and specify that she's going to be charged at the Santa Clara location, right? Because the location, right, depends on which store she's buying it from. Since I said she's buying it from the Walnut Creek location, it does say that the address of the main store is going to be from Danville, California. But that's not what I want. I want to make sure that it's specified that she's going to get charged at the Santa Clara tax, which is that 10.25%, which is going to be for $4.10. So therefore, her total that she owes is $44.10, and she paid me with cash. So therefore, right, she's going to give me $44.10. And once everything looks good, I can go ahead and click Save and Close. Now, anything that I want to attach to extra information, notes, or anything like that, you can go ahead and put that there. All right, but everything else looks good. So I can go ahead and click Save and Close. Okay. So there's my first sales that I had for Imagine Photography, right? Here it is. It's a sales receipt, and we collected $44.10 worth of sales. Okay? All right? So again, if you have a status on here, it's just going to say that it's been paid. So right there, it has been paid, right? And that Nao Garcia owes me nothing, right? Because she paid at time of sale. All right. So again, this is only looking at invoices here, or the amount of money that the individual customer owes me. In this case, this person paid me up front. So therefore, no account balances that are pending. Right? And that is the first thing that we did, was we sold our first thing. Now, if you remember our products and services, right? If you take a look at under our sales, right? We have the products and services list here. So because I sold those picture frames, right? It's also going to notify me that whether I have those items available or not. And it will flag me down if I sold a product that I have zero quantity for. Okay? So in this case, QuickBooks does also notify you if you are selling merchandise that you don't have enough for. But in this case, we are not going to talk about inventory or purchasing our products and services until chapter 10. But I do want to let you know, because I sold that one item to Neo Garcia, it has reduced my frame. So if I go to my frame 5x7, right? If you remember, we purchased those from the photo supply, right? Peterson Photo Supply, right? It increased it, now it decreased it because now I sold one of those items. Okay. All right. Okay, going back to sales, all sales. Okay. So that was doing the very first one, recording our very first sales receipt. So let's take a look at the next one. Okay. What if I decided to sell something and they paid me with a credit card? Okay, straightforward. So in this case, we sold a Supra package, right? That's one of the items that we added in here. So again, we're going to go ahead and do Veronica Vasquez. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and record another sales receipt because they're paying with a credit card, right? So that means they are paying at time of service, okay? Or at time of sale. So they're going to click on sales receipt, whether I clicked it here, or if I wanted to, I can go to new transactions on all sales right there on that sales center, or I could actually click on Veronica herself on her profile and be able to click that she's going to be, we're going to issue a sales receipt. So again, we're going to do Veronica. Okay, Veronica Vasquez, right? Again, let's see when we sold to her. Where did we sell to her? Okay, so let's see. We sold to her on the 18th of January, so same day. Mike Mizuki's going to be her sales representative. We're going to put that she paid via credit card. Okay, and again, payment to deposit. So it's important that we do that. And it's going to be sales receipt number 1002 for the Walnut Creek location. And here's the products and services we're going to sell to her is going to be the Supra camera package. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill that information in. So we are going to be selling to her on the 18th of January. Okay. Sales rep once again is Mike Mizuki, so MM. Okay. Sales receipt. Okay, look, so watch this, right? Because the very first time I entered in the first sales receipt, right, I coded it as 1001. Now, every time you enter in a new sales receipt, notice this. It's taking into consideration that I assigned a number. So now it's going to continue on the next sales receipt with the next consecutive number, which is 1002. So again, that is how QuickBooks automatically fills in these things for you to make it that much more easier to process your sales receipt much quicker, or invoices, right? And they keep track for you. So in this case, I didn't have to fill in that this is the sales receipt for 1002. It already filled it in there for me. Walnut Creek location, okay? Once again, tag is retail because we sold it in the store, okay? And then payment method is going to be credit card, right? It's going to be payments to deposit, and we're going to sell to her the Supra camera package. Or, sorry, wrong section there. That's the service date. Supra camera package, so Supra package right here, which is going to tell me that I am going to be selling her a camera, lens, and a case. Okay, it's all broken down right here, and I'm going to make sure that I make this item taxable. So I'm going to select the Supra camera. Okay, there it is. I'm going to make it taxable, but if I can't, then I'm going to select every single item on here to be taxable. Okay, and they're all going to be for the store location. There you go. So they're all store. Okay. And then, so then now she owes me a total of $959.98. Okay. Plus the tax. Once again, we're going to make sure that this is a Santa Clara tax. Okay. And of course, now they owe me a total of $1,058.38. And because they paid with a credit card, it's going to be automatically paid. Okay. All right. So a total of $1058.38. Okay. All right. And that is how you record a credit card payment. All you have to do is just change the different payment methods, and that is pretty much it. Okay. So once everything looks good and everything matches, we can go ahead and click Save and Close. So there you go. I recorded my second type of sales. Okay, what are these? Okay, no, which is weird because I've already designated all of them to be the store. Right, those are all 4 things here. It should process it. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and click yes. So it's just saying that one of my items doesn't have a class assigned to it, but that's okay. The weird thing is I have all 4 items saying that it's for the store, so I'm not sure what it's trying to tell me here, but there you go. So yes, you can override an error message. So there you go. I recorded my first 2 sales receipt. Okay. All right. So, all right, I'm going to stop here for a little quick break here. And then we'll continue on doing our invoices.